are back. Practice happening right here in Henderson, Nevada. The 2025 training camp for the Raiders has opened. And yes, they are in pads for the very first time, so you know they are hitting. Welcome in to Raiders Training Camp Special Episode 2, along with James Jones.
What's going down?
Amber Theoharis. You know what? I love that you're in here with me because Eric Allen is at the Hall of Fame.
Man, our dog got fitted for his gold jacket and all that. Congrats,
I tell you,
EA.
we are excited for him, but meanwhile, some practice going on outside. EA got into the Hall of Fame by hitting people pretty hard, and we love practice, right? When you can finally put on pads as a player, what is that like?
Oh, man, number one, you love it and you hate it at the same time. Because you know your body's going to be sore, but you love it because you know, hey, once you start putting them pads on, we are one day closer to the real thing.
That's right, and here at the Intermountain Health Performance Center, you could get a little feisty day one too, right?
Yeah.
You can actually
I had an over/under today. I think I lost though. I said over 2 fights. We didn't really have no scuffles out there today.
Yeah, not just yet. That's the discipline of Pete Carroll probably, and the culture that he's established here. Of course, the big storyline is the change in regime and having Pete Carroll out there. But some news we didn't expect was to lose Christian Wilkins. He was released a couple days ago. But how does this reshape the D-line? Because that was expected to be a strength with a healthy Malcolm Kuhn.
This is huge because you get a guy that can not only stop the run, but he can also rush the passer. And to lose him, who knows what type of depth we are going to have there. So really right now it's an open competition there with some of them D tackles, and I don't know how that's going to look. I'm not going to lie. Today, the offense got the best of them, running the ball downhill at them. So we really are going to have to find somebody to fill in there for them really, really fast.
I saw you run out there the second the wideouts started going up against the DBs because former wideout, you obviously wanted to see what's going on, especially with some of these young draft picks, right? You wanted to see Jack Best, you wanted to see Dante Thornton. What did you see day one when you're standing there? What was the number one thing that stood out to you?
Well, number one, I don't know if I'm little, but I always walk up to these dudes and I'm like, my goodness, y'all are huge. But right when I walked up to Thornton, he is a big boy. He can run. He is physical. And in one-on-ones, took him a little time to get going, but then they went to team. And the way he performed in team, it looks like we got a superstar on our hands, the way he moves, how physical he can be. Gino was looking for him a lot out there. They designed a couple plays for him. So it's going to be exciting to see this young rookie get after it, knowing you got Brock Bowers and Jacoby, and you're going to be able to run it with Jeanty as well.
And we saw Trey Tucker get a lot of reps early with the first team, and that is just a weapon that you pull out. How do you expect him to fit into the mix?
Now, I'm not going to lie. I walked over there, and I seen Trey Tucker in them one-on-ones. Look at me, this he was cooking them boys.
He was.
In one-on-one. So I'm excited to see him, too, because you got two dudes now in Thornton and Trey Tucker that could really run and really blast this thing open when you talk about two deep threats. So this will be fun. Offense is looking good. You got a guy under center, obviously we know in Geno Smith, that is very, very accurate and can throw the air out of the football, so it should be good.
There was definitely two guys that stood out. One was Trey Tucker to me. The other one was right away you saw Ashton Jeanty. The power. It just seemed like the crowd was out, the fans were out here, and they would get excited every time the rookie would get the ball. What are your expectations for Ashton Jeanty?
Well, my expectations is very high. And I walked over to you and I said, hey, two things can be true. I see 1,300 yards from the rookie. I mean, he had run where he pressed it and just cut it back to the other side, and everybody was, you was at the track meet. Ooh, you start making them sounds. That's what he brings. He's lightning in the bottle. Every play could be a home run for him, and you've seen flashes of that today.
How exciting is it to have Geno Smith here, knowing that you have a Pro Bowl quarterback that has had success with Pete Carroll, they're reunited again, and then the very first preseason game, which we're getting ready for, is going to be in Seattle. I know Geno Smith will not be playing probably in that game. Not be playing in that game, but still, the storyline, they had success together. And what does it mean for a player when you're put back into a situation where you trust your coach? I mean, some of your coaches changed your career for you.
No doubt, and that's huge for him because you talk about quarterback play. You got a coach that believes in you and Pete Carroll. I walked out there and I seen Coach Olsen, Greg Olsen, who was my really good friend and my coach, and he told me I ain't been around a quarterback that's as accurate as Geno Smith.
Yes.
And he's had an accurate one because Derek Carr was accurate as well. And he was like, Geno Smith is just on a whole nother level when you talk about accuracy and where he could place the ball. Just had nothing but good things to say about him. But he's that type dude, and he can make some plays with his legs. So I see them getting off to a really good start. Pete Carroll, they won 10 games under him with Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith's going to have a heck of a year.
And what is the number one thing you're going to be looking for as we start to see some of these preseason games? I know it's about depth, right? It's about position battles.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of veterans that were brought in free agency through John Spytek, but also it's a very young team.
Yeah.
That's actually very exciting.
Yeah. One thing I'm looking for early is the violence, right? I want to see us run the ball, and then I want to see us, hey, man, come downhill. I want to see us tackle.
Yeah.
I want to see us tackle because you can't really do tackling here at practice. I want to see what type of defensive team we are going to be when it comes to being violent and tackling.
No doubt about it. They have some dogs on that team, and one they just added was Jamal Adams.
Yes.
He is a veteran safety who is healthy now, and we know what he did with Pete Carroll while healthy, and we can't wait to talk to him. He's coming up next right here on Raiders Training Camp Special.
Every year, millions fly with us at Allegiant because together, we go places. We see old friends and try new things. We laugh. We really like to laugh. And reconnect. We remember. And we wander, which leads to wonder. From how we go to where we go to what we do when we get there, we go further together.
And a blue moon.
Wow, that is a delicious looking orange slice.
Thank you. That's actually my son's slice. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, this is a slice of your son?
Look, it's an honor to be chosen for a blue moon.
Well, if it's an honor.
Yeah.
No! Just kidding.
That was a really good one.
The larger one is the dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
The Raiders Training Camp Special is brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, non-stop flights only at Allegiant.com. And by SiriusXM. Get closer to what moves you with SiriusXM. Hear 24/7 NFL news and talk on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88. Welcome back to Raiders Training Camp Special. It is the first day in pads, which is always exciting. Nobody wants to hit. That's right, and nobody wants to hit harder than the defensive backs. We know that Pete Carroll is paying special attention to that unit. It is clear in training camp. But let's talk to one of the new members of the backfield, and that would be the defensive backfield.
There you go.
Jamal Adams. Jamal, welcome in. It's good to see you in silver and black. What is it like in year 9 to put on kind of this iconic uniform?
You hit it on the nose. It's definitely iconic. It's an iconic organization, first-class organization, and I'm just excited for my opportunity. For Pete to bring me in and compete with the guys, and try to make the team.
First off, man, 9 years—that's a long time playing in the National Football League. That's a lot of hits that you have given out. See, I took them, you giving them out.
Yes, sir.
But how you feel? You've been training. I've been seeing you've been training and working out, keeping yourself in shape. But we all know you can train as much as you want. Once you put them pads on and you start hitting other people,
no doubt,
it feel a little different. How you feeling?
Absolutely, man. I feel good. Obviously, the heat is a little different out here. Nothing worse than Dallas. But obviously, just being back from home and training throughout the offseason. You know, it's been a blessing, you know, just to get back on my feet and really do my thing. And just to come out here and compete with the guys, man, you know, first time in pads and come around, run around and, you know, hit a little bit. I ain't get to hit anybody today, so just still trying to figure out everything and figure out all the plays. But eventually we'll get the pads popping.
You were an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler under Pete Carroll. Take me through the process of reuniting with him and what it's like to be back with him.
Yeah, I mean, he just texted me. You know, honestly, throughout the offseason, I've been sending him video of just me working out. You know, not only just him, just a couple coaches that I've had relationships with, and you know, obviously he brought me in. He texted me and said, "Come work out," and I told him I'd be there. So came in, worked out, and did my thing. And obviously, you know, I got the opportunity of a lifetime just to come out here and compete with the guys.
What's your role going to be? Have you talked to Pete about your role? You going to go back to the strong safety, fly around hitting? You know, I've been hearing a couple whispers about you kind of going outside linebacker. You know, you can cover. Yeah. We all know you can tackle. What's kind of going to be your role in this defense?
Man, honestly, man, I guess you can just call me the Joker, man. Jack of all trades.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I don't like to label myself as just one position, man. I can do it all. You know, whether, you know, that's playing linebacker, whether that's playing safety. You know, in my eyes, I believe I can do it all. So, you know, just say I'm the Jack of all trades.
We know that you're the most experienced veteran in the defensive backs room. Take us through that room. You've gotten to know the guys a little bit. What should we be excited about from a personnel standpoint?
Well, I'm not in the DB room.
You're in the linebacker room.
In the linebacker room.
All right, take me through that's it. That tells us a lot about what JJ was just asking you.
Yes,
take me through the linebacker room, though. A lot of new faces for Raider Nation there. Some veterans, and what are you seeing?
Yeah, obviously it's different for me, you know, just being in the linebacker room. Obviously they speak a different language than what we speak in the back end. But, you know, me just taking it on and learning everything, learning from the guys each and every day. You know, you have guys like Devin White. You know, you have Pratt. You have E-Rob. You have Jalen Smith. So you have so many guys in there that have put the time in, have you know, battle scars, should you say. And I'm just kind of learning from them and, you know, just going out there just to be a football player.
You've been a part of some elite defenses, so you know how it's supposed to look, not only in the games, but as practice as well. I know this is the first day of pads, but what's just some of your first signs, man? And, you know, talk to us about how this defense might be able to look out there.
Man, you know, obviously the sky's the limit. You know, each and every day you got to put the work in. You know, you got to gel as a group, obviously learn your teammates, and, you know, continue to get better each and every day. You know, every time we step on the field, you know, we're trying to set that mindset right. You know what I mean? We're just trying to be dominant as possible. And, you know, as long as we do that, keep our head down and grind, we'll be all right.
We all know how frustrating it is to suffer injuries in this league. You want to be out there, and, you know, that you've gone through that in the past, but I know that you've said that you feel better than you have in a long time. Just kind of take us through your health and what you have done differently in this offseason in the past year to really get back to top shape.
Well, honestly, you know, it's been a long time coming, should I say. You know, mentally and physically, I'm finally back to, you know, who I was before the injury. You know, it's kind of been, you know, a good 2.5 years, 3 years of really just, you know, not having any luck. You know, and it's been a daily grind. You know, I'm still grinding. You know, I'm fully healthy, you know, each and every day, but just trying to get my legs back underneath me. Those things like that, they take time. But, you know, I'm grateful for where I am. It was definitely a battle. It was a lot of dark times. You know, I went through it. You know, I had to sit back and, you know, hear everybody chirp about it and whatnot. And I really couldn't do anything. Mentally, I knew where I was. I knew how many plays I've made over the course of my career. But physically, I just couldn't, you know, perform the way I wanted to perform. And, you know, hey, you live and learn. It's part of my story. And, you know, for me, I'm just going to finish it the right way.
You know, when you were in Seattle, Pete Carroll, I had a chance to talk to Pete Carroll and John Snyder, who's my brother, and they love you like you their own son. So I know probably bringing you here, too, a lot had to do with leadership. How are you taking on that leadership role early, you know, since you got here?
Yeah, for sure, man. It's crazy because a lot of these guys, they call me OG or Unc. So.
You're not Unc. I don't think you're Unc just yet. That's disrespectful. We can't do Unc.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just like, damn, I'm only 29, you know, so be easy on me. But, no, it's great, man. Just coming in, you know, just trying to learn my teammates, obviously. And the more I know as far as just learning my role, learning my plays, you know, and learning my techniques and what I need to do, the better off I will be, because then I can really branch out and you know, become that leadership, you know, and become that leader for you know, one of the leaders on the defense, should I say. And there's so many great leaders on this team. You know, I'm just here to help in every way.
Patrick Graham seems to really connect with the players, and he's the one thing that's been consistent here in Las Vegas over the past couple of years. What are your early impressions of working with him?
Yeah, he's a smart coach, obviously, and you know, he's been around the game for a long time. I'm very fortunate that they brought me in to, you know, give me an opportunity. Like I said, I'm just gonna, you know, do my best to, you know, take advantage of the opportunity. When my name's called, I go in and I make plays.
What's the biggest adjustment that you would have to say you got to make going from safety to linebacker? I know you say the terminology is a little different, but what's the biggest adjustment that you learned so far from linebacker to safety?
Yeah, obviously we speak different languages, very similar but different languages, should you say. Obviously I'm closer to the line of scrimmage, so I'm just trying to slow my eyes down, slow my process of, you know, what I'm looking at. You know, my lens is definitely closer to the line of scrimmage, so. You know, obviously you gotta have the right eyes when it comes to, you know, playing in the box, playing in the trenches, because those linemen are coming off and, you know, they're trying to ear hole you. So for me, I'm just trying to slow my heartbeat down. You know, slow my mindset down and slow my eyes down. And once I, you know, get that under control and get the feel of it, I'll be fine.
Tell me about some of the new. I know that you probably look at the other safeties, look at the defensive backs, and are able to identify talent. What do you think of somebody like Isaiah Polamau, who's a young, upcoming safety, and then, you know, a guy like Jeremy Chin, who we saw what he did with the Commanders last year?
Yeah, obviously, you know, two good safeties, young safeties at that. You know, they're back there making plays, what they're asked to do. Controlling the back end, obviously, and, you know, just being the vocal leaders in the back end and setting the tone. So, you know, obviously those two guys are going to, you know, make things go in the back end, so we're excited to have them.
Jamal, I know it's great for the defense to have you there as a veteran, and we're excited. We know what you can do when you're healthy, and we're glad to see you healthy and glad to see you in the silver and black. Best of luck out there, and thanks for joining us.
Welcome,
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Coming up, we are joined by a new member of our team here at Raider Nation. It's Paul Gutierrez. He joins us to talk about some of the storylines at camp. Next.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough.
Every year, millions fly with us at Allegiant because together, we go places. We see old friends and try new things. We laugh. We really like to laugh. And reconnect. We remember. And we wander, which leads to wonder. From how we go to where we go to what we do when we get there, we go further together.
And a blue moon.
Wow, that is a delicious looking orange slice.
Thank you. That's actually my son's slice. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, this is a slice of your son?
Look, it's an honor to be chosen for a blue moon.
Well, if it's an honor.
Yeah.
No! Just kidding.
That was a really good one.
The larger one is the dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
Select Raiders training camp practices at Intermountain Health Performance Center are now open to fans. Practice begins at 8:30 a.m. and entry is absolutely free. Check it out. Visit raiders.com/camp for dates and details. We have 5 open dates coming up in August. You definitely don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Raiders Training Camp Special, along with James Jones, Amber Theoharis. This is exciting. This is your first day out at camp, first day in pads. You like what you see so far? Questions?
I love the smell of the grass. I love hearing them pads popping. No, it was a good day. It was some good work out there. I got a chance to see some one-on-ones with the wideouts and some D-line, some good work today.
All right, well, there's a lot of storylines, some position battles. Let's bring in a guy that knows a little bit more than us. He's been here all for the first week. Paul Gutierrez, I like the way you look in silver and black, my friend. You're now with us this season. He's a Raiders columnist, Raiders insider. And Paul, I tell you, the biggest storyline, I think a lot of people were shocked to see Christian Wilkins released. We haven't had a chance to speak to you just yet about it.
Right.
So who do you see going forward filling that void on the D-line, at D-tackle?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a way that you talk to Pete Carroll, you see how effortlessly positive he is in everything he does. So they're turning this into a positive in that there's opportunities for a lot of young guys to step up. First name you kind of think of, though, is Jonah Laulu. He's a local story here, local kid made good kind of thing. Played pretty well down the stretch last season. Great opportunity for him. And when you look at the flip side of it, last season, they only had Christian Wilkins for the 5 games anyways. They didn't have him at all during the offseason program, during training camp or anything. So you look at it as a situation of, can you really miss something you never truly had anyways? And they were looking at it as, well, they're going to have to go into camp with these young guys stepping up, whether it's Pegas or Tonka, guys that they drafted, or Jonah himself. So there's some opportunities for guys to step in. Now, whether they hit the waiver wire again, look for another veteran, there's opportunities. But as Pete Carroll has said, since he first got here back in January, everything is about competition. So especially now when you don't have that big ticket item in the middle of that defensive line, great opportunities for young guys to step up.
1 full week of training camp under the belt, pads on today. The pads were popping. What's your impressions of the first week? Who stood out? Offense, defense? Who's somebody that's kind of caught your eye? What's your first impressions of the first week?
Yeah, what's been interesting is and you can speak to this even better than anybody, be having somebody that's gone through the camp, James. The first part of camp before they put the pads on and they're running around out there without, just in their shorts and in their helmets, it's a continuation of what they installed during OTAs, during mandatory minicamp, and for the rookies, what they did during rookie minicamp. So once they put the pads on, then it starts to feel real. That's when you feel that. I was watching the defensive linemen going up against each other and just working on their rip moves. And nobody really yet has stood out in terms of a physical presence out there yet. We'll see that as soon as the temperatures rise a little bit more and anger gets a little bit higher too. We'll see what happens in that, and you know what I'm talking about. But right here in these first about 5 or 10 minutes ago, you saw some red zone drills, 11-on-11 drills going on. Dante Thornton, everything is advertised in a deep ball from Geno Smith, 65-yard touchdown. Thing of beauty that was really, really pretty to watch. But then you also saw in the red zone, you saw DeCamerion Richardson, second-year cornerback, picking off Geno in the end zone. So back and forth, putting the pads on, it feels a little bit more real today.
Let's talk more about that passing game. I know James had his eyes on the wideouts out there. And Geno Smith, you just mentioned, he's not afraid to air it out. We remember what he was able to do with guys like DK Metcalf over in Seattle. And now he's got some speed. How much do you think this offense will rely on the deep ball? We talk so much about the running game, but the play action pass, the deep ball as well.
Yeah, it's part of the Raiders' DNA, right? And when you talk to Raiders owner Mark Davis, he wants to see that. He wants to see that vertical game. Something that goes back to the Fred Biletnikoff, Cliff Branch days. The Speetzers, the Tim Browns, the Jerry Rices, the James Joneses. We want to see when the ball is going down the field, and what's going to set that up better than anything is going to be that play-action pass game. And that is where the rookie Ashton Jeanty is going to actually contribute to the deep game, is if he can keep that secondary from playing back. Then all of a sudden, that's going to open things up for the speedsters. And that's whether that's Trey Tucker, whether that's Dante Thornton, who has that unique combination of size and speed taking off down the field. And that's what I was just describing here. We saw that. So that is kind of Geno Smith's, that's his specialty, throwing the deep ball. They got to work on some things in the red zone, but that's what training camp is for.
Pads on the day, that's when you really know what kind of the run game is going to look like to be able to open up that play-action pass game. We know what Brock Bowers is going to do, right? Usually the guys that wear number 89, they usually like that, you know what I mean? So black. But number 2, Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah.
How is he looking out there with these pads on today?
First couple of snaps they had the one defense or the one offense going against the 2 defense. And again, it's early, but I'm going to use this phrase as advertised because he has such a low center of gravity that as soon as a little hole opens up, boom, he was right through that, and he was high-stepping, and he was through it. First time he's had any real physical contact since the playoff game against Penn State for Boise State back in the playoff back in January. So a couple of handoffs. He broke through the first time and got hit by a linebacker. Stopped the play there. Second time, boom, he was gone about a 15, 20-yard pickup up the stretch. And it got the fans on the sidelines pretty excited to see that. Again, it was the one offense against the two defense, but for what it's worth, they're in pads. They're not tackling down to the ground, but to get that feeling of just that oomph, it had to feel good for everybody involved, especially for Ashton Jeanty when you see him see that little hole of daylight, and boom, he was through it.
We were out there a few minutes ago with you, and James Jones came off of the field, and he's like, couple things. Yeah. He goes, our rookie might run for 1,300 yards. I mean, that was one of his first impressions was how good Ashton Jeanty looked. Yeah. Also, you have to imagine with Brock Bowers and the threat that he is, think about it, Paul, he's still learning, and that's almost scary. Like, he's still getting comfortable in the NFL. How could we see his role expand even more here in year 2 under Chip Kelly? Yeah, I think what fans have to be careful of is looking at the numbers, the stats that he put up, all those catches that he had last year. It was a very one-dimensional attack down the stretch, and that's fine because it's basically like, look, this is what we're going to do, stop us. And they couldn't stop Brock Bowers with what he was doing. But with this offense under Chip Kelly, it's going to be a more diverse, more multi-attack kind of a system. And then when you've got an Ashton Jeanty, when you've got Jacoby Myers coming off that first 1,000-yard receiving season of his career, you've got different weapons. So Brock Bowers remains one of, if not the most dangerous tight ends in the NFL, but it's going to be hard for fans to replicate, to see him replicate those numbers because they're going to have to spread the wealth and they're going to have to keep defenses honest. So you're absolutely right. He's still learning. As he mentioned a couple of days ago here in the tent, there's so many things that he still wants to improve upon. And when you look at a guy that was first-team All-Pro as a rookie, you think, okay, well, that's a good thing because that shows that he still wants to learn. He obviously has some things to learn because as a wise person once told me, if you're not learning, you're either stupid or you're dead. I like that one.
Well, it sounds like we're going to be all right offensively. All right, but we all know, well, at least they say, defense wins championships. The addition of Jamal Adams, right, reunited with Pete Carroll. I know he had an all-pro season under Pete Carroll. What do you think his role is going to be? How do you think he's going to impact this team on the football field?
Interesting because he seems to be the epitome of a strong safety, a thumper that can come out there, but also be a little bit of a ball hawk as well. Talking to Pete Carroll last week, he envisions him more as a will linebacker now, rushing the passer, which body-wise, that's interesting because I'm not going to even utter the phrase Legion of Boom 2.0, but I guess I just did. But it seems like that's what they're trying to reinvigorate here or reimagine because if you look at how big and how physically tall and physically large these defensive backs are, there's some strains of that Legion of Boom DNA out there, but yet there's a lot of pieces that are very young, and then you got the Jamal Adams guys. You got those guys that have a lot of experience with them as well. So you try to fuse that together, try to figure it out, and with Pete Carroll kind of being a DB expert, or a wizard there is what he does there, that is going to be a key on the back end of things. Of course, it all comes like what we started talking about at the very beginning, down on that line of scrimmage, and you know, the constant there is Max Crosby always.
I'll tell you, it's very refreshing this year to not have a quarterback battle and wonder who the quarterback's going to be. We know it's Geno Smith, but before I let you go, I got to ask you, the Raiders drafted Cam Miller. They have Aiden O'Connell, who they've liked in the past. How's that QB2 competition looking early?
Yeah, I mean, Aiden, if you just parachuted in and you didn't really realize it, you would think that Aiden O'Connell was still in the running for QB1, the way that he's kind of leading teams in drills, the way that he's taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, in drills. And he has the experience of having already been a starter in the league. But when it comes, it's obvious that Geno is the starter. But that QB2 position battle, I mean, I think that's one of the low-key storylines to keep an eye on here because Cam Miller, he succeeded, granted, at the FCS level. But if you can play, you can play. And if you can stick around on an NFL roster, you'll stick around. So there's going to have to be a way to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster at some juncture here. But, yeah, that's definitely going to be, especially when they start playing these exhibition games. Who's going to get more run? Who's going to have to see how they react in certain situations, playing with second and third stringers and guys that aren't going to be on the roster when they make those final cuts. So it's going to be huge to see those joint practice with the 49ers. So that's where it's all going to go.
Paul Gutierrez, you're awesome, my man. Thanks for joining us. You can check him out on Raiders.com, all of the Raiders official platforms. We're so glad to have you on our team this year. Can't wait to read all of your opinions and editorials. Thank you so much for being with us.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to step aside here on Raiders training camp, and when we come back, it is the man that James Jones noticed out at training camp. It is Ashton Jeanty, the rookie. He's coming up. He joins the show. Coming up next. This segment has been brought to you by SiriusXM. Subscribe to SiriusXM and hear every Raiders game, plus 24/7 NFL news, talk, and expert analysis on SiriusXM NFL Radio. Start listening at SiriusXM.com/Raiders25.
Every year, millions fly with us at Allegiant because together, we go places. We see old friends and try new things. We laugh. We really like to laugh. And reconnect. We remember. And we wander, which leads to wonder. From how we go to where we go to what we do when we get there, we go further together.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
The Raiders training camp special has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights only at Allegiant.com. And by SiriusXM. Get closer to what moves you with SiriusXM. Hear 24/7 NFL news and talk on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88. Welcome back. I'll tell you, if last year was any indicator of the type of rookie development that this organization is capable of, a lot of things to be excited about. Absolutely. Because Brock Bowers had a record-setting rookie season as the first-round pick for the Raiders, and Ashton Jeanty now comes in at the as the number 6 overall pick, and he joins us now from the practice field. Ashton, welcome in, and welcome to the Silver and Black in our beautiful studios here. How are you liking everything so far?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, and, I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. Today was the first day of pads, so it was a lot of fun out there.
Speaking of first day of pads, you with some grown men, you know what I'm saying? So putting them pads on for the first day, running in between the tackles. I seen you had some nice runs today. Just take us through it. How'd it feel?
It felt great out there. I feel like it's no different, than what we've been doing before, is, practicing and getting better. But, now you get to be a little bit more physical, which for a running back, that's everything. And, get to see how the linebackers are going to tackle and, fit them up in pass pro as well.
We were just talking about Brock Bowers coming in, and he said that you are a get-it-done guy. That was his quote. What does that mean to you? I'm sure you take that as an identity somewhat.
It means a lot. It just shows – that I've been coming in and handling business, and, to hear that from a guy like Brock, who was, arguably the best tight end in football last year, it means everything.
How are you feeling in this offense? Chip Kelly's offense, he has had some running backs ball out. My good friend, Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy, had his best year under him. How you liking the offense? How you fitting into the offense? Talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, the scheme is really great. He's doing a great job at, putting not just me, but everybody in places to make plays. What are your strengths and, how can we bring those to life and, through the run game and even the pass game as well. So I'm just excited to keep growing and learning in his offense.
Look, we know you can run the rock. We were actually just out there at practice earlier, and James came off the field, and he's like, all right, one thing. We got a couple things. Number one is Ashton Jeanty probably is going to run for 1,300 yards. So we know that you can run the football, but how are you going to help the passing game as well?
Yeah, I mean, being able to come out the backfield, run option routes, inside option routes, wheels, all those sorts of things, even lining up in the slot and outside, moving around, being a check down for Geno whenever everything's not open downfield. And then, also in pass protection, being able to protect the quarterback so those receivers can catch the ball down the field.
Speaking of quarterback, we all know in this league, if you do not have a good quarterback, you don't got a chance. That's just how this league goes. How has Geno Smith been for you? The leader, the quarterback, how's he looking out there? How's he been? Locker room, just talk to us how he's been on the football field and as a leader for you.
Yeah, he's been great. He's bringing guys along, such as me. I know he had a bunch of guys down in Florida training during the offseason. I wasn't able to make it, but, that just kind of shows how he's trying to bring everybody together and, build that camaraderie, as a team. But, not only that, me as a rookie, him helping me out and, showing me the way and, how to play in this league.
Well, I'll tell you, Chip Kelly, we know that he is going to give you a lot of carries, and you're a high-volume type of guy. You're young. Talk to me about your mentality of knowing that you're going to get quite a few carries.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want as a running back. You want to get the ball. But I'm going in with the mentality to dominate, whatever defense, whatever team we're playing against. I got a job to get done. We got a job to get done as a team, and I know that's going to start with the running game.
Defense, you got some really good players on the defensive side of the ball. Today was the first day of popping. How'd it feel going up against Max Crosby? Devin White, I seen Devin White flying around. He's slapping his helmet going crazy.
E-Rob, you got some veterans out there.
How I feel going up against that defense today?
Yeah, I mean, we got some dogs out there, but I'm loving it because it's competition. We're competing out there. Max is, almost impossible to block. E-Rob, he's physical. He's banging in between them A-gaps, coming ready to tackle. Devin White, I mean, he's a dog. He can cover. He can tackle, all that. I mean, I had to pick him up in the A-gap and bull rush me, but, I'm learning what it's like to really play pro football.
Tell us a bit about your running backs room and your running backs coaches and getting acquainted with them. Who's helped you kind of transition early on from college? I know it's a whirlwind. I mean, you go straight from college to getting ready for the draft, then you got combine, the draft, and then OTAs. It's like it doesn't stop. So who has been there to help you transition?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot for sure, but, having a great coach like Coach McCullough, I mean, he's done a great job since I got in, teaching me everything, helping me learn not only that, but getting better and, pushing me to a higher level, pushing me, even though I'm a rookie, to, step up, lead in the room, but also having the vet presence of guys like Raheem Mostert. He's taking me under his wing. He's helped me with whatever I need, whether it's on or off the field. Sincere, Chris, Dylan, all these guys, Zamir, all these guys have helped me out, and, we're all pushing each other, and that's what you love, to have that competition in the room.
Speaking of competition, you have a coach that's all he speaks is competition in Pete Carroll. I seen it kind of amped up out there today. I seen him with his gloves on, running around. I know this is your first year in the National Football League, but you've been around a couple coaches. Just talk to us a little bit about Pete and the energy that he brings.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, it's every single day with him. And, when your coaches, coming to practice, meetings, to everything, with that juice, that energy, it's infectious, it's contagious, it goes all around the team. So it makes you, want to go that harder on each and every single rip, play that harder for your brother, for your coaches, and really run through a brick wall for him.
Talk about your brothers. You're looking to your right and your left with this rookie class, and there is a lot of talent. There's you and then Jack Besh and then guys like Dante Thornton. Obviously, there was an emphasis to bring in a young offensive core that could grow together. Do you see a bright future as you guys start to bond together and be like, hey, we could really build something with this rookie class?
Definitely a bright future. I mean, I could see that from, day one, stepping out here with these guys and, speaking of the guys you said, but all these guys are competing and try to get better each and every day, and fighting for a spot, fighting to be the guy at their position, which you love to see. But having this young core and guys that you can grow with and get better with is always a great feeling.
How do you like having the fans out there? How cool is that to have the fans out there? I'm sure a lot of them have Jeanty jerseys on.
Yeah, it's definitely, different having the fans out there, but, it makes it more fun. It brings more energy to practice, and then, obviously fans screaming my name and stuff like that, that's not a bad feeling.
Hey, I just got one more for you, man. Are we working as hard as we possibly can to have a dominant year so we could get back to our Freddie stance or whatever stance we was in? Because I know they got our knees bent right now, you know what I'm saying? Are we working hard to get back to that?
Hey, I ain't gonna say too much,
okay.
But if things go right, hopefully maybe.
Well, Ashton, we're so excited to have you here with the organization. I know Raider Nation is pumped up. I might just pick you on my fantasy team. I got my draft coming up, so I have a lot of faith in you.
Hey, we in the same league, so if I got the pick first, it's over.
You're gonna take him? Okay. Well, Ashton, thanks so much, and best of luck in your rookie season. We can't wait to see what you do out there.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
All right, and speaking of the fans, you guys can join us at Allegiant Stadium for an open practice on Saturday, August 2nd at 1 o'clock. Tickets are only $5, and 100% of the proceeds go to the Raiders Foundation. Inventory is limited, though, so get out there. Visit raiders.com/open practice for tickets and details. That is going to be so much fun. And, hey, it's been fun hanging out with you, JJ.
It has been fun. Pads on, popping.
That's right. That's how it's supposed to be.
That just means we're closer, though.
I know. Get out there in the heat. All right. August 14th, by the way, joint practices with the 49ers. That's when we're going to be back with our next
Let me get my gear ready right
special.
now.
Just get out there. Guy from the Bay Area there. All right. We'll see you next time. For James Jones, I'm Amber Theoharis, Raiders Training Camp Special. We'll see you August 14th.